I'm Rob, and today we're at the Compasses Inn in Damerham. So the Compasses Inn, much extended over the years, but I think originally 16th century Tudor, and in its time it's been a dairy, a coach house, and it's had its own brewery. And it also welcomes muddy boots and paws. From the pub we're going to head back along the road in the Fordingbridge direction. Be a little bit careful of the road, it can be quite busy at times. I'm guessing as Forge Cottage this may have been the old forge. And there's the sports field with the pavilion, which is right next to the pub. So we've walked off around the bend, and we're going to follow that finger post to the right down a little minor lane. And that's the Damerham village beacon, and that was first lit on New Year's Eve 1999 to celebrate the millennium. Right opposite the beacon we're taking this footpath which leads down by the church, and it's St George's Church, Damerham. As it says, it's 900 years old. It's a 12th century church, and it's also Grade 1 listed. Let's go and have a look. Now I wonder if these are relatives of my wife. My wife's grandmother, she married a Wilds, and the Wildses lived in Damerham for years and years and years. But her maiden name was Tiller, and she also lived in Damerham for many, many years, or her family lived in Damerham for many, many years. There's an awful lot of Tillers in the graveyard. And the church is open. You can see a lot of wooden beamwork on this very old church. Lovely wooden pews. And this is the east window, and I believe that that is 20th century. Now this type of ceiling is called a barrel vaulted ceiling, and this one in particular is from the 16th century. And the pulpit is 18th century. A fabulous old organ. Our path continues from the door of the church under this massive yew tree, complete with berries, and out the gate at the back of the church. Now yew trees are always found in churchyards, more often than not, because they're revered by Christians as a sign of death and resurrection. Because what happens is the yew tree can dip its boughs to the ground and a new yew tree will spring up. These on the wall of the cottage, they're wall ties basically. They hold the outer wall to the inner wall and hold it up. I'm not a builder, so I think that's a good description. Anyway, it makes the whole building more stable anyway. At the end of the track, we don't carry on down that shady lane there. We turn left to follow this shady lane up here. So we're heading towards Hill Farm Barn. And we're taking the footpath here to the right. So, protected wildlife area, and here's a novel style that you don't see very often. It's like a fence, but you slide it around, or as Trev says, it's a style cross of a Chinese puzzle. Either way, it gives you a nice low step over this fiendish footbridge and style. And I'm wondering, we're heading towards the River Allen. The River Allen, it rises in Martin in Cranborne Chase, and it flows into the River Avon in Fordingbridge. But these ditches that would otherwise feed it are dry, so I'm just wondering how much water will be in the River Allen. It is a chalk stream, and there are fisheries that we'll walk by later, so you would hope there'd be some water in there. The harvest is being got in, and that reminds me that in 1830 there was a major swing riot in Damerham. Swing riots were riots by the farm labourers against the introduction of machinery. And as I say, there was a major one here when the farm labourers attacked the manor house. And they were carted off toot sweet to Winchester to face the summary justice of the time. There's a fine example of the farm machinery that evolved from the original early machinery, the combine harvester. And it's getting in the harvest of barley. And they do that while it's dry and warm. So they've got a fair bit to do. After coming out of the barley onto the path, you follow it through to the corner of the field, into the next field. And then we'll bend round to the right with the path. I don't know what that is in there. Pig hut maybe. But anyway, when you see that, you soon come to a junction of paths, and you turn right, and we're going to head down towards the River Allen and the fisheries. And at the footpath sign, we are turning right. In fact, these are ponds, probably put in for the fisheries. And there's rainbow trout in there, and also brown trout. You can see the surface of the water breaking there where they're coming up to the surface where it's so hot. And we carry on along the boardwalk. A nice little campsite here. I think it might be a certified site, or the caravan club equivalent. And it's in the grounds of what was once an old mill. One of about 4 mills around the Damerham area. Right on cue. Turkey and some geese. Idyllic spot to camp. I think they're Indian running ducks actually, those ones at the back. And there you go, it's a Caravan and Motorhome Club certified location. A lovely spot. tree at the end of the drive, we turn right onto the road. So at Bull Hill Farm, the Ordnance Survey Map tells you to go up through the house and grounds, but we've just spoken to the lady in the house, and apparently it was changed years ago on the Ordnance Survey Map, and then all of a sudden it was reverted back to the old path. But anyway, it was diverted years ago, so you walk past the house and up the lane a bit further. And there we go, just before you get to the bend with a cottage on it, you can see the footpath sign in the bushes. They're turning right. So very pleasant walk across a couple of fields, stile in the middle. And we exit this field into this nice cool woodland by this stile. And this little stream we're crossing is marked up as Hawk Hill Ditch, providing a very welcome, cool spot to cool off in the shade. We come away from the lovely open fields, over the stile, old-fashioned stile, and straight on down the lane. And as the road bends round to the left, on the right, hidden in the bushes, another footpath sign. And we head off down there. Nice little cottage over there. But you notice most of the buildings around Damerham are Victorian. And that's because in 1863 there was a great fire that destroyed a lot of the village. So thatch is at a premium. There's a house called Bethany at the end of the path, onto a gravel track which we take left-handed, soon becoming tarmac. And on the bend in the road there's a fisheye mirror, and there's a footpath to the right which we take. Lovely big weeping willow tree there on the left. Oh wow, that is an interesting little place. And it looks like they make them. That's lovely. Oh, follow Mr. Ward down between the houses. Da 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 da. So at the end of the path, when we come to the lane, we turn left. Damerham has been inhabited since Neolithic times. They found Neolithic remains around here and Bronze Age barrows. And at the time of the Domesday Book, in the 11th century, it was owned by Glastonbury Abbey, and then it went to the Crown on the dissolution of the monasteries. In 1544, Henry VIII bequeathed the village to his sixth wife, Catherine Parr. Before that, in Saxon times, King Alfred the Great bequeathed the village in his will to a religious settlement. Some believe it was a nunnery. It's always bin day when we do these walks, but anyway, the old vicarage, don't let the bins deter you, it's a lovely building. And just after you pass the Western Downland Church of England Primary School, you take the public footpath straight on. A lovely little school, so many turned into houses in these small villages, but this one still a school, great. Oh, lovely allotment. At the end of the path, when we come to the main road through the village, we turn right and you can see the pub there in the distance. And the village of Martin is 3 miles off to the left, as you can see. So, parish notice board, no hosepipe ban here yet. Although where we are, Southern Waters area, there is. It's been the driest July in 100 years. Anyway, onwards back towards the pub. Now the River Allen completely dried up. Nothing running under the bridge. And nothing running down the stream bed. Shows how dry it's been. So there's another tiller on the war memorial. No Wildses. There's a tiller. That's a memorial to the Great War and the Second World War, which is right alongside Damerham Village Hall. So if you're into Roman villas, there's a Roman villa down at Rockbourne, which is in this direction. We're back at the pub and it's lunchtime. So that's a lovely walk. You can see the heat wave we've had has dried up the rivers. The River Allen non-existent at all there, and it's only the pools at the fisheries really that got water in. Anyway, it was 5 miles, very hot day, very nice pub. So we're going to go in and have a drink and some lunch. So if you want to follow me, let's go in.
I'm doing it Sunday for lunch.
Okay. Not sure what the story of the propeller boss is. Again, there's a yew tree, which indicates how old this pub is. There's the playing fields I was talking about earlier, and the gardens nicely overlook it. Now the Tudor part of the pub is the very front bit over there, and it was extended thereafter. So we've got James, and James is a trainee supervisor here at the compasses. Hello James.
Hello, how are we?
Oh, we're fine. What do you know about the history of the pub, James? I've heard it goes back to Tudor times. Is that the whole building? Or?
It's not the whole building, so basically this long bit here is fairly newer. I'd say maybe a couple of 100 years newer,
Yep.
But the old building, you're looking at that. So that's where the kitchen is, and we've got the pool bar there. That's all the original part of the building. So
I heard you've got a well in the garden that you draw your own water from for certain things?
yes, of course, yeah. We've got the well to, basically right now we're just doing it to like water the plants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've heard my manager Ken does like all the drainage and everything, you know, for it, and he said like it was really deep. It's just
right.
I think it's just over there. If you
Just
look
over
over
there.
that fence, yeah.
Okie
yeah.
dokie. Right, and I notice you're in a great position right between the New Forest and Cranborne Chase, so you must get a lot of walkers through here.
Of course, yeah, we get a lot of walkers. Obviously, since we're quite lucky since we're in the New Forest, you know, there's fantastic scenery, you know, plenty of places to like walk your dog on as well, and the pub's dog friendly, and obviously like you can bring like your dusty, dirty walking boots in or whatever.
That's always good news for walkers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's especially in the some really. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's, you know,
and you've got rooms as well?
Yes, we've got just above my head. We've got 7 rooms, all en suite and everything, and then just round the back of the pub we've got 2 cottages as well. So yeah.
Oh right, and I heard there was a great fire in the village in 1863 that destroyed a lot of the village. Was the pub affected at all?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I don't know how, to be honest, because
it was probably the first building the fire brigade of the time went to save.
Yeah, I think. Well, I did a tiny bit of research on it, and there's just no record of the pub being affected by it at all. And No idea, maybe absolutely no idea, but lucky escape for us, I guess.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Okay,
so.
James, that's a lovely pub, lovely garden, nice bit of lunch we've had, so thank you very much.
No worries, cheers.